Hello and welcome to episode 7. In this episode, we're going to talk about 4 deadly mistakes you can make with your employees. We want to make sure we avoid those, especially in times of crisis like this. We tend to make a lot of rash decisions, and sometimes we think we're making decisions that are helpful for our company and for our employees. So I want to talk through 4 different ones you want to avoid making. That may seem like they make sense at the time, but trust me, through experience, I've learned they don't. So the first one we want to talk about is pay cuts. Sometimes when things get rough, there's a temptation to, hey, let's just save everybody, and we'll do that by having everybody take a 10% pay cut across the board. We'll all suffer together. I can guarantee you that will backfire on you. That will not work. And you'd be much better off to cut 10% of your employees than to give everyone a 10% pay cut or 20% or wherever it is. So better to cut an employee than to cut the pay. What you'll end up with is disgruntled employees. They will lose faith in your organization. They'll lose faith in you. And you may end up with a bunch of poisoned employees instead of being able to salvage them, and it'll cause you bigger problems in the long run. So look at it more as an opportunity to relieve yourself of a subpar employee or employees that maybe aren't up to par or the standard that you need. This could be an opportunity to do that, take care of that problem. So avoid the temptation to make pay cuts across the board like that. Number 2, you want to avoid giving a raise in attempt to save an employee. Oftentimes you might have an employee, maybe they're a good employee, you don't want to lose them. It would put you in a difficult spot if you lost them. And the temptation is, hey, if I give them more money, throw money at the problem, it's going to solve it, and they'll stay. I can tell you right now, my experience is most of the time money is not the real problem. It may be part of it, but it is not the most important one. And most of the time what you'll find is that raise just buys your employee a little more time to find the job that they want to go to, and they'll just use you for that until they leave. You need to find out what the real problem is. A lot of times what employees are really concerned with is they don't feel that they're appreciated. They don't feel like they're making a difference. They don't feel like they have enough responsibility, or they don't feel like they have a good growth path or opportunity path in the company, ability to move up. And so find out what the real need is. Part of it may be money, but most likely it's coupled with a need to be appreciated or need to make a difference. Oftentimes, even a title is more important than money. So think about that. People want to be needed. People want to make a difference. Number 3, avoid the temptation to lay off an employee that really should be terminated. Sometimes in a crisis, you say, well, I can just lay off this guy. I wanted to get rid of him anyway. This is a good opportunity. The economy's bad. We're in the middle of a crisis, so it's a good, easy way to be nice and to still get rid of them. By doing that, you're not doing them a favor or you a favor. People need honest feedback. They deserve honest feedback in order to improve. And they need that in order to improve with your company or at a different company. Otherwise, people will tend to propagate or carry that problem with them to their next job, and they don't actually improve and solve their problem. They wonder why every job they go to, they have the same problems. It's because nobody's ever really helped them understand and helped them to improve what they're doing in those areas. So, number 4, avoid sacred cows. Now, a sacred cow is someone that stays on the payroll, gets paid way more than they're worth or way more than they should for what they're doing. The many reasons people do that. Number 1, they were here from the start. They were here from the beginning. We can't let them go. Or they helped when we really needed help in the past. Note they're not helping in the present, but they helped in the past. Or maybe worse, they're related to you or to somebody else. Be aware, other employees notice that situation where people aren't carrying their weight and are carried on the payroll anyway because they're a sacred cow for one of these reasons. Morale will suffer, their trust in the company and you as an owner or manager will suffer as well. So either make people worth what they're getting paid or the responsibilities equal to it, or make the change that's needed to keep your other employees in good trust and happy. So there you are. Once again, avoid the temptation to make across the board pay cuts. Avoid giving a raise to employee as your only option to save an employee. Avoid laying off an employee that really should be terminated, and avoid maintaining sacred cows on your payroll. So hopefully this helps. Make good decisions. We're getting through this all together, and these are good points, whether in a crisis or in good times. So we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.